Your ex did not come back because they changed. They came back because your brain is wired to be addicted to people who cannot decide whether they want you or not. And that is called dopamine debt. In 2026, over 1.2 million people shared the exact same story on the internet. An ex disappears, weeks pass, you finally start moving on. Then they text, something casual, out of nowhere. And every emotion you buried erupts at once. The hashtag dopamine hack has hit 2 billion views on TikTok, not because people are happy their ex came back, because they finally understood why they could not let go. It is not love, it is the slot machine effect. B.F. Skinner proved this in the 1950s with rats and a simple box. Give a rat a food pellet every time it presses a lever and the rat presses when it is hungry. Give a pellet at random intervals and the rat presses and presses until it collapses. Unpredictability creates obsession. Consistency creates comfort. Your ex became the lever. Here is exactly how your brain gets hijacked. Stage 1, the peak. When you first met this person, everything was new. First contact, first date, first kiss. Your brain flooded with dopamine every single time, and it felt euphoric because it was. Dopamine is not the pleasure molecule, it is the expectation molecule. It surges before you get the reward. It drives you toward what might happen. And in the beginning of any relationship, everything might happen. The uncertainty itself fueled the high. Stage 2, the predictability crash. After months, you know what to expect. Same jokes, same routine, same nights. The dopamine starts to flatline. Your partner starts paying less attention. You feel it slipping. And then the pull away begins. Texts get shorter. Plans get canceled. You do not know if they are dating someone else. You do not know if they just stopped caring. What you experience is a neurological crash. Your dopamine levels drop below baseline. Research from Harvard in 2023 confirmed that romantic rejection activates the exact same cortical regions in your brain as physical injury. It literally hurts. Stage 3, the breadcrumb. Then they text, just one word, or they like your story after 3 weeks of silence. You did not even know you were waiting for it, but that one notification set your brain on fire. Dopamine spikes 250% above baseline. Not because the text was important, because it was unexpected. Skinner called this a variable ratio schedule. Psychologists call it intermittent reinforcement, and it is the single most powerful behavioral hook that exists. You start checking your phone, not because you expect a message, because you might get one. And that might is the drug. That is dopamine debt. The toll your brain owes from the cycle of highs and lows. And unpaid debt does not disappear. It pulls you back to the source, even if the source is the worst decision you have ever made. Here is the part that changes everything. The same intermittent reinforcement that hooks you onto an ex also changes what stable relationships feel like. When you go on a date with someone consistent, someone who texts back every time, your brain does not read that as healthy. It reads it as boring. Because your dopamine system recalibrated to chaos. Consistency now feels understimulating, and so you chase the people who give the most unpredictable feedback. A calm partner who always says I love you feels less exciting than the one who vanished for 2 weeks and showed up unexpectedly at your door. That is not love. That is withdrawal in a different costume. On TikTok, the dopamine hack has hit 2 billion views because people are reverse engineering this exact cycle. The viral phantom text technique, where you send a memory to an ex and wait 30 minutes before replying, hit 900 million views. Creator Dopamine Queen taught millions how to manipulate the reward schedule in relationships. And it works. That is the problem. It works. fMRI research confirmed that anticipatory uncertainty spikes dopamine by 250% in the striatum, the same region that lights up in gamblers right before the wheel stops. Your ex is not a person anymore. They are a slot machine with good hair. Here is stage 4 that nobody tells you about, the self-reinforcement loop. After they text, you reply fast. They do not reply for hours. Your dopamine plateaus and drops, and you send another text just to get that hit. They might view your story without answering. Even that viewing is intermittent reinforcement. Now you know they saw it and chose silence. And still you are hooked, because at least they saw you. You are not weak for falling into this. You are a human being operating on hardware not designed for the digital age. Your ancestors did not need to handle unread messages from people who used to sleep next to them. Your brain did not evolve a firewall for slot machine relationships. It evolved to attach. And when attachment becomes a variable ratio schedule, the system turns against you. Here is how you break it. The only way to pay dopamine debt is to cut the source completely. No contact works because it stops the anticipation loop. When you know for certain that a text will never come, your brain stops pressing the lever. The first 2 weeks, dopamine stays below baseline. You feel anxious and irritable. You want to check one more time, but that is the debt talking, not you. After 3 to 4 weeks, your receptors recalibrate. Normal things feel good again. Not intense, just good. Healthy attachment does not feel like a jackpot. It feels like coming home to a house you already know. Next time your phone buzzes and it is them, pause before opening it. Ask one question. Is this connection or is this chemistry? Once you see the mechanism, it loses its grip. And the moment it loses its grip, you finally get to decide if this person matters beyond the dopamine. Here is the stage nobody warned you about. The withdrawal itself feels like grief, and your brain confuses the pain with love. The harder you are hurting, the more you believe they mattered. But pain is not proof of significance. It is proof of debt. During those first 2 weeks, your mind will tell you one more text fixes everything. Label that thought out loud. That is not me. That is the debt. Giving it a name creates distance. And once distance holds, the memory separates from the feeling. You see who they actually were. More selfish, more inconsistent, more capable of leaving you on read for a week. That clarity makes the decision easy, not emotionally, logically, because you now have the truth without the chemical filter. But understand this. Your ex probably did not intend to create dopamine debt. Most people do not. They just do not know what they want. Their inconsistency is not malice, it is confusion. And that inconsistency becomes accidental intermittent reinforcement because your brain treats confusion the same way it treats intentional coldness. Unpredictable is unpredictable. The intent does not matter to your striatum. Only the pattern doing the damage matters, and the pattern can be broken. Even if the person meant well, even if they did not know, even if they still love you but cannot stay consistent. Love without consistency is just dopamine with a softer name. Next time your phone buzzes, ask yourself one more question. Does this person have what I need? Or do I just need what this person gives me in unpredictable moments? Because those moments feel incredible. But a relationship built entirely on moments is a house built on jackpots. And jackpots rarely come back.